does it come from? This quest, this need to solve life's mysteries when the simplest of questions can never be answered. Why are we here? What is the soul? Why do we dream? Perhaps we'd be better off not looking at all. Not delving, not yearning. That's not human nature. Not the human heart. That is not why we are here. This quest, this need to solve life's mysteries. In the end, what does it matter when the human heart can only find meaning in the smallest of moments? They're here, among us, in the shadows, in the light, everywhere. Do they even know yet? We all imagine ourselves the agents of our destiny, capable of determining our own fate. But have we truly any choice in when we rise? Or when we fall? Or does a force larger than ourselves bid us our direction? Is it evolution that takes us by the hand? Does science point our way? Or is it God who intervenes, keeping us safe? For all his bluster, it is the sad province of man that he cannot choose his triumph. He can only choose how he will stand when the call of destiny comes, hoping that he'll have the courage to answer. When evolution selects its agents, it does so at a cost. It makes demands in exchange for singularity, and you may be asked to do something against your very nature. Suddenly, the change in your life that should have been wonderful comes as a betrayal. It may seem cruel, but the goal is nothing short of self-preservation, survival. This force, evolution, is not sentimental. Like the earth itself, it knows only the hard facts of life's struggle with death. All you can do is hope and trust that when you have served its needs faithfully, there may still remain some glimmer of the life you once knew. Sometimes questions are more powerful than answers. How is this happening? What are they? Why them and not others? Why now? What does it all mean? When a change comes, some species feel the urge to migrate. They call it Sukkenruhe, a pull of the soul to a far-off place, following a scent in the wind, a star in the sky. The ancient message comes, calling the kindred to take flight and gather together. Only then can they hope to survive the cruel season to come. Evolution is an imperfect and often violent process, a battle between what exists and what is yet to be born. In the midst of these birth pains, morality loses its meaning. The question of good and evil reduced to one simple choice: survive or perish. You do not choose your destiny. It chooses you. And those who knew you before fate took you by the hand cannot understand the depth of the changes inside. They cannot fathom how much you stand to lose in failure. That you are the instrument of a flawless design. And all of life may hang in the balance. The hero learns quickly who can comprehend and who merely stands in your way. The earth is large, large enough that you think you can hide from anything, from fate, from God. If only you found a place far enough away. So you run. Hiranya Shringam Varunam Prabadehi Tirtame Dehi Yachitaha. To the edge of the earth, where all is safe again, quiet and warm. The solace of salt air. The peace of danger left behind. The luxury of grief. And maybe, for a moment, you believe you have escaped. You can run far, you can take your small precautions, but have you really gotten away? Can you ever escape? Or is the truth that you do not have the strength or cunning to hide from destiny? That the world is not small, you are. And fate can find you anywhere. We are, if anything, creatures of habit, drawn to the safety and comfort of the familiar. But what happens when the familiar becomes unsafe? When the fear that we have been desperately trying to avoid finds us where we live? We are all, at our cores, the sum of our fears. To embrace destiny, we must, inevitably, face those fears and conquer them. Whether they come from the familiar or the unknown. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose. The earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour as we desperately try to keep from being thrown off. Like the first blush of winter that signals a great migration, was there any warning of their arrival? A sign? A single event that set this chain into motion? Was it a whisper in God's ear? Survive, adapt, escape. And if we could mark that single moment in time, that first hint of the prophecy of approaching danger, we have done anything differently? Could it have been stopped? Or was the die long ago cast? And if we could go back, alter its course, stop it from happening, would we? These people, their future is written on their DNA, just as the past, it seems, is written in stone. Was the die cast from the very beginning? Or is it in our own hands to alter the course of destiny? Of all our abilities, it is free will that truly makes us unique. With it, we have a tiny but potent chance to deny fate. And only with it can we find our way back to being human. In the beginning, there was discovery, a confusion of elements, the first snowfall of impossible change. Old lives undone, left behind. Strange faces made familiar, new nightmares to challenge sleep. New friends to feel safe with. Only then comes control, the need to impose order onto chaos, through determination, through study, through struggle, all in defiance of a thundering truth. They're here, and the earth shudders underfoot. When we embrace what lies within, our potential has no limit. The future is filled with promise, the present rife with expectation. But when we deny our instinct and struggle against our deepest urges, uncertainty begins. Where does this path lead? When will the changes end? Is this transformation a gift or a curse? And for those who fear what lies ahead, the most important question of all, can we ever really change what we are? To survive in this world, we hold close to us those people on whom we depend. We trust in them our hopes, our fears. But what happens when trust is lost? Where do we run when the things we believe in vanish before our eyes? When all seems lost, the future unknowable, our very existence in peril, all we can do is run. Where does it come from, this quest? This need to solve life's mysteries when the simplest of questions can never be answered. Why are we here? What is the soul? Why do we dream? Perhaps we'd be better off not looking at all. Not delving, not yearning. But that's not human nature, not the human heart. That is not why we are here. Yet still we struggle to make a difference, to change the world, to dream of hope, never knowing for certain who we will meet along the way. Who among the world of strangers will hold our hand? Touch our hearts and share the pain of trying. We dream of hope, we dream of change, of fire, of love, of death. And then it happens. The dream becomes real. And the answer to this quest, this need to solve life's mysteries, finally shows itself, like the glowing light of a new dawn. So much struggle for meaning, for purpose. And in the end, we find it only in each other. Our shared experience of the fantastic and the mundane. The simple human need to find a kindred, to connect, and to know in our hearts that we are not alone. Mankind cannot survive alone. So what is it that unites strangers? They've been leading separate lives, all of them searching for answers. Now, when the world needs them most, destiny will bring them together. But man's natural instinct to bond can be dangerous. We each have a purpose. Together, we can save mankind.
I'm ready.
If we heed one prophecy.
Save the cheerleader. Save the world.
For thousands of years, human beings have shared the same basic traits. But all that is about to change.
All over the world, ordinary people are discovering extraordinary abilities.
Do you ever get the feeling like you were meant to do something extraordinary?
They're here, among us. Ordinary people finding something extraordinary in themselves. The world needs them, and their time has come.
The sun rises on a new dawn. Yet few of us realize the debt we owe to those responsible for this, to those who dwell among us, anonymous, seemingly ordinary, whom destiny brought together to repair, to heal, to save us from ourselves. And they're still out there, among us, in the shadows, in the light. We pass them on the street without a glance, never suspecting, never knowing. Do they even know yet? That they are bound together by a common purpose, a glaring reality, to be extraordinary.
Teleportation, tissue regeneration. These are no longer simply theories. I have seen them with my own eyes.
And when destiny does anoint them, how do they hide from it? How long can they dwell in the shadows before either fate or their own flawed humanity draws them out into the light again? And how will they know what awaits them when it finally does? When confronted by our worst nightmares, the choices are few: fight or flight. We hope to find the strength to stand against our fears, but sometimes, despite ourselves, we run. What if the nightmare gives chase? Where can we hide then?
It don't matter till the sun.
It is human nature to look to the past,
If you go or if you stay.
to the road we have traveled, to what has so far defined us.
Oh, the sun is gonna rise, shine down on another day.
But only by leaving our past behind can we then push onward.
There will be a tomorrow, even if you choose to leave.
Into an unknown tomorrow. Into the dawn of a new future.
Don't matter to the sun.
Into the light of a new beginning.
It is man's ability to remember that sets us apart. We are the only species concerned with the past. Our memories give us voice and bear witness to history so that others might learn. So they might celebrate our triumphs and be warned of our failures. There are many ways to define our fragile existence, many ways to give it meaning. But it is our memories that shape its purpose and give it context. A private assortment of images, fears, loves, regrets. For it is the cruel irony of life that we are destined to hold the dark with the light, the good with the evil, success with disappointment. This is what separates us, what makes us human. And in the end, what we must fight to hold on to. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere, in sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun, is moving its slow thighs, while all about it reel shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born.
In the ongoing search for self, there are days when we learn something genuinely new. Something uncovered, hidden, that we never knew was there. Something that surprises us. And on that day of self-discovery, the question remains: what kind of person are we? Does the hero or the villain inside us win the day? And as the search for self continues, we look for answers everywhere. In nature, in God, in tiny tragedies that may never be understood. But still, we are driven to it, single-minded on one goal: to find our purpose on this earth. No matter what the ramification, the friendships that may be hurt, or the deals with the devil we need to make. In every journey, the traveler must ask, was the right path taken? Many roads are long and winding, filled with those who have lost their way. Some forge their own course, guided by faith, seeking not a location, but a kindred soul. Others step together, finding safety in the arms of another. A few remove themselves from the trail to avoid the path of temptation. But those who watch the track too closely fail to see where it led them. And they're often all too surprised by their destination. A child is born to innocence. A child is drawn towards good. Why then do so many among us go so horribly wrong? What makes some walk the path of darkness, while others choose the light? Is it will? Is it destiny? Can we ever hope to understand the force that shapes the soul? To fight evil, one must know evil. One must journey back through time and find that fork in the road, where heroes turn one way and villains turn another. When the moon passes between the sun and the earth, strange fascination takes root in the heart. And suddenly, anything is possible. Its power is undeniable. Its beauty, mesmerizing. Its lure, biblical. Its meaning, unknowable. And as quickly as it comes, it disappears, leaving us to dwell on our own insignificance in the face of God. It starts with light and ends with light, and in between there is darkness. Nothing there is beyond hope, nothing that can be sworn impossible, nothing left unimagined, since Zeus, father of the Olympians, made night from midday? Hiding the light of the shining sun and raining dark fear down upon men. There's a moment in every war where everything changes. A moment when the road bends. Alliances and battle lines shift, and the rules of engagement are rewritten. Moments like these can change the nature of the battle and turn the tide for either side. So we do what we can to understand them. To be ready for change, we steady our hearts, curb our fears, muster our forces, and look for signs in the stars. But these moments, these game changers, remain a mystery. Destiny's invisible hand, moving pieces on a chessboard. No matter how much we prepare for them, how much we resist the change, anticipate the moment, fight the inevitable outcome, in the end, we're never truly ready when it strikes.
On the sixth day, God created man in his own image. Now it's up to us to figure it all out. Right, wrong, good, evil. In each of us is the capacity to decide what drives our actions. So what is it that makes some choose selflessness, the need to devote oneself to something greater, while others know only self-interest, isolating themselves in a world of their own making? Some seek love even if unrequited, while others are driven by fear and betrayal. There are those who see their choices as dark proof of God's absence, while others follow a path of noble destiny. But in the end, good, evil, right or wrong, what we choose is never what we really need, for that is the ultimate cosmic joke. The real gift that God has left behind.
There is good, and there is evil. Right and wrong. Heroes and villains. And if we're blessed with wisdom, then there are glimpses between the cracks of each where light streams through. We wait in silence for these times, when sense can be made. When meaningless existence comes into focus, and our purpose presents itself. And if we have the strength to be honest, then what we find there, staring back at us, is our own reflection, bearing witness to the duality of life. That each one of us is capable of both the dark and the light, of good and evil, of either, of all. And destiny, while marching ever in our direction, can be rerouted by the choices we make, by the love we hold on to, and the promises we keep.
Generations unfold, father to son, mother to daughter. Where one leaves off, the other follows, destined to repeat each other's mistakes, each other's triumphs. For how do we see the world, if not through their lens? The same fears, the same desires? Do we see them as an example to follow, or as a warning of what to avoid? Choosing to live as they have, simply because it's what we know, or driven to create our own identity. And what happens if we find them to be a disappointment? Can we replace them? Our mothers, our fathers? Or will destiny find a way to drive us back to the familiar comforts of home?
It is our nature to protect our children, for each generation to pass on their cautionary tales to the next. So it is with the myth of Icarus, the legend of a boy who fashioned wings from feathers and wax, daring to fly into the heavens. His father was fearful and warned Icarus to be careful,
You find something?
begging him not to tempt fate by flying too close to the sun. But in the end, the boy couldn't resist. His waxen wings melted from the sun's rays,
Mom?
and he plunged to his death. For every being cursed with self-awareness, there remains the unanswerable question: who am I? We struggle to find meaningful connections to one another. We are the caring friend, the loving father, the doting mother, the protected child. We fight and we love in the hope that somehow, together, we can understand our significance in the universe. But in the end, no one can share our burden. Each of us alone must answer the question: who am I? What does it mean to be alive? And in the vast infinity of time, how do I matter? There are nearly 7 billion people on this planet. Each one unique, different. What are the chances of that? And why? Is it simply biology, physiology that determines this diversity? A collection of thoughts, memories, experiences that carve out our own special place? Or is it something more than this? Perhaps there's a master plan that drives the randomness of creation, something unknowable that dwells in the soul and presents each one of us with a unique set of challenges that will help us discover who we really are. We are all connected, joined together by an invisible thread, infinite in its potential and fragile in its design. Yet while connected, we are also merely individuals, empty vessels to be filled with infinite possibilities. An assortment of thoughts, beliefs, a collection of disjointed memories and experiences. Can I be me without these? Can you be you? And if this invisible thread that holds us together were to sever, to cease, what then? What would become of billions of lone, disconnected souls? And therein lies the great quest of our lives: to find, to connect, to hold on. For when our hearts are pure and our thoughts in line, we are all truly one, capable of repairing our fragile world and creating a universe of infinite possibilities. What is it that unites us? The will to evolve past the ordinary? The excitement of a shared experience? Or discovering who we want to be? In each of us, the potential to be stretches far throughout the planet, growing, changing, evolving. At the forefront sits a movement, a phenomenon bridging the gaps between continents and cultures, a beacon for a community that yearns to discover its true destiny.
Where does this path lead? To know that, we must go back to the beginning.
There are others like us out there. In the shadows, in the light. Each grasping for meaning in a world that won't accept them for who they really are. They, like us, are blessed, gifted with extraordinary abilities. And they, like us, struggle with finding their place in an ordinary world. A world that never understood or appreciated what makes us different. Haunted by their past. From those who would harm them and keep them from their destiny. Every one of them deserves a chance to be who they really are. And all who have gathered will be strong. And all who have gathered will stand in unison. I say it's time we found our way back home again. Vessel, an empty shell. What is a man without mind, without memory? A ghost? A body in search of a soul? With no compass to guide us, how can we know if our destiny is to seek the good or obey the demons that whisper in our ear? The blank slate hungers to be written upon. The body thrives when the heart has a mission.
There are many ways to define our fragile existence, many ways to give it meaning. But it is our memories that shape its purpose and give it context. A private assortment of images, fears, loves, regrets. And we alone choose the importance of each, building our own unique histories, one memory at a time. Hoping the ones we choose to remember don't betray or trap us. For it is the cruel irony of life that we are destined to hold the dark with the light, the good with the evil. This is what separates us, what makes us human, and in the end, what we must fight to hold on to.
It is human nature to look to the past, to the road we have traveled, to what has so far defined us. But only by leaving our past behind can we then push onward. Into an unknown tomorrow, into the dawn of a new future.
into the light of a new beginning.
When you look back at the things you've done, the decisions you've made, the last thing you want to feel is regret. Am I right? Memories are funny things. The good ones fill your life with meaning, with context, with clarity, while other memories can deceive. The ones that make you believe you know the truth. They're the dangerous ones. The ones that hold you hostage. When you look back on all the decisions you've made in your life, the one thing you don't want to feel is regret. Am I right?
Where does it come from? This fear, this quest, this need to hide in a simpler past when the future cannot be avoided. It's coming. And when it does, everything will change. Yet there are those who can stop it. Do we know how? How do we find our true purpose? Is it something we're born with, written into our genetic code? Or is it something we must learn over time? A growing awareness derived from life's joys and sorrows, from our loves, our losses, our achievements, and our suffering. We all have a unique purpose, and try as we might, we cannot run from it. The only question that remains, will we be able to stay true to who we are? Or will we succumb to the pressure of destiny and become something else entirely? Something inhuman. Time was designed to move in one direction, ever forward, allowing our lives to be a series of choices, threaded one after another. These choices define who we are, whether it is to protect the family we cherish, the truth we know and the memories we hold on to, the past that we cannot leave behind, or the search for the answers to our own private mysteries. But meddle with the laws of time, twist it, bend it, and even the smallest of butterflies can alter history itself, turn friend into foe, causing the most unexpected of consequences, and the greatest tidal wave of change. No matter the unforeseeable consequences of our actions, when all seems lost and the future remains uncertain, we take solace in the knowledge that the sun will rise again, and what is destined will remain.